What's going on, guys? It's Brandon back here again for another BFR. Usually I'd be posting this the day after, but since there's going to be the power rankings tomorrow for the month of February, and it's going to be a longer video, I want to make sure I can get this BFR out in a good amount of time so I can work on the power rankings tomorrow. So I'm going to do my BFR of the Blackhawks Blues matinee game right now. Ended about half an hour ago, so let's get right into it. Game 54 versus the St. Louis Blues. I was not at this one. February 27th at 2 p.m. they faced off. St. Louis wins 4-0 and an absolute dominant performance. If Fleury doesn't exist, it's 10-0. And then there's probably two that should have went in for the Hawks, but Binnington got saved from those. And then, so the Hawks go to 19-27-8. They get outshot 35-30. The Hawks out-hit St. Louis 24-17, and face-offs are 23 apiece. And on the power play, Chicago goes 0 for 3, St. Louis 1 for 3. Fleury saves 31 out of 35. Binnington saves 30 of 30 in the shutout for him, second shutout of the season for Binnington this year. We can see if that'll get him back on track. Sorry about that. And so Tyler Johnson is set to return Thursday after having herniated disc surgery. So he had the same surgery as Jack Eichel, and Eichel seems to be performing fine after the surgery, so we'll see if Johnson comes back the same. Those neck injuries can always make or break you. Gustafsson was out, Galvis was out, Reichel was out, McCabe was in, Phillips was in, and Slavin was in. In the first, a lot of extracurricular stuff happens. Hawks take away early, Strome nearly tucks it in, Thomas nearly had it buried, and Blues were in control. Kyrou breakaway ended because he didn't shoot it, and he kind of like Fleury outweighted him. Blues had so many empty net chances but missed. Momentum was shifting really back and forth. There was a great save on Bozak, and Whistle missed on a chance. It was interference was missed on Mikola. Hawks have more shots somehow at this point in the game. Binnington, good save on Slavin. Rebound starting to get physical halfway through the first. Kane and Strome 2-on-1 denied. Good save on Doc breakaway. And at 10.4 seconds to go, it's a Chicago penalty to Hagel for tripping, which would be killed, but that's all there was in the first. In the second, the Blues start on the power play. Fleury absolutely robs a 2-on-0 on the power play, and then Tarasenko hits the post. St. Louis power play was absolutely dangerous. Fleury robs 3 or 4 chances on that power play, but as the power play ends at 17:34, St. Louis scores on a 2-on-0 from Jordan Kyrou on a back-and-forth play with Braden Shen. His 21st of the season to make it 1-0 from Barbashev and Shen. Fleury nearly had it, he nearly had it on an impossible save. But if he got that, that would have been incredible. Fleury's the only reason the Hawks were in this game. Tarasenko and Buchnevich 2-on-1 denied by Fleury. Fleury then robbed Shen. 13:04 then, it's a St. Louis goal to Pavel Buchnevich, his 19th of the season from Thomas to make it 2-0. And then Phillips had a good play. The Hawks had a 3-on-1 that was denied. Kane went into Binnington. Both were fine as he was taking the puck to the net, got knocked down, and kind of went into Binnington. Both were fine, nothing wrong there. 9:06 St. Louis penalty to Perron for tripping, which would be killed. Then at 3:30 it's a Chicago penalty to Caleb Jones for holding, which would not, because at 1:52 it's a St. Louis power play goal from David Perron, his 10th of the season from Shen and Falk to make it 3-0. Then at 1:05 it's a St. Louis penalty to Buchnevich for cross-checking, which would be killed. And then Phillips was playing well. He had a good play, and then he had a couple penalties drawn in this game. I thought he had a pretty good game. Then Bozak robs Kane with Binnington down. Binnington was down and out, and Bozak dives in front of him and saves a Kane shot. That would have been one of the Hawks' goals. And then early in the third, the Chicago starts on the power play. It would be killed. But at 16:56, it's a St. Louis goal, his second of the game. It's David Perron, his 11th of the season, unassisted to make it 4-0. And then St. Louis breakaway was denied by Fleury. I didn't catch who it was. McCabe had a good hit. And then there was a scrum as the Hawks have a 2-on-1 and miss several open net chances with Binnington down. At the end of it, at 12:03, it's a Chicago penalty to Lafferty for roughing and St. Louis penalty to Kyrou for cross-checking, so we go 4-on-4. Then, as they were reviewing the Perron goal, I was noticing how bad of a goal it was. Fleury probably should have had that one, and it was a bad angle. It was from almost behind the net the way he was shooting it, and it kind of just snuck through the pad of Fleury and barely across the goal line. Moving on, Fleury still was the only reason that the Hawks were only down by 4, not down by 10. At 6:07, it's a St. Louis penalty to Tarasenko for tripping. It was a bad call. Phillips did really embellish it and sell it, but he drew another penalty, but it would be killed, so it didn't matter. Lafferty then goes coast to coast. He had a good move, and that was saved. There was a shorthanded 2-on-1 for St. Louis that was saved, and then at 1:09, it's a Chicago penalty to Borgstrom for hooking, which would be killed. But on the power play, Coach Berube puts the third or fourth power play unit out there for St. Louis, and the announcers called it good sportsmanship as they're trying to get Perron the hat trick. Blues were giving Perron everything, and Fleury was robbing him and just not letting him get it so he wouldn't get it. But the fact that the announcers say good sportsmanship, screw that. If your team is the enemy and it's a rival like St. Louis, and St. Louis and Chicago are bitter rivals, if I'm St. Louis, I'm pounding Chicago into the ground, no mercy. Sportsmanship, maybe, it's a good thing to have. Don't get me wrong what I'm about to say. It's a great thing to have. Sportsmanship might be one of the most overrated things in sports. You have to respect your opponents, yes. Does that mean you can pummel them with everything you have? Yes. There's nothing wrong with dominating your opponent. It's about winning, and it's not about if you win. It's not about how you play the game. It's winning or losing that matters. And you want to show you want your team to be horrified. You want your opponents to be horrified when you play them. You want them to have a fear complexity when you go into games. The fact that this was even brought up just made me angry to begin with. If I'm St. Louis, I'm trying to destroy Fleury and scoring 10 on him if I have to. But yeah, other than that was pretty much this game. Other news around the league: Tampa wins the Stadium Series 3-2. Look, it was a great game. A lot of stuff happened in the third, more so. Nashville nearly came back and won it. They were down 3-1. They made it 3-2. Pecorine was there. He spoke during the thing. They had some performances. And then Toronto wins 10-7 against Detroit in an absolute wild game in which apparently the Toronto team was sick, so there was something going around the locker room and they were just not feeling it. But still, like, they were. If I would have loved to see Steve Dangle freak out if they dropped a 7-2 lead. That might have been the best gift to this world ever. He might have had a heart attack. I don't want that to happen, but that would have been one of the greatest things to ever have grazed the internet. And yeah, that's really all I have for you guys today. I shall see you guys next time. Goodbye.